Hello watchers and welcome to Disney Dollhouse issue 14. Issue 13 for some reason was missing. They've sent me 14, 15, 16 and the binder, but no issue 13. So I've contacted them and they've said, apologies, etc. And they'll send me issue 13 out. So rather than me waiting for issue 13, I thought I'd crack on because from the video I've watched, in issue 13, all they get is a vinyl sticker that goes on here to cover the holes, because this is where you'll be able to take out this section of the building and play with inside of the rooms, so it needs to look flush and finished. So they stick that on first, and then they stick the flooring in place as well, and then they stick the panels in place as well. So instead of me sticking those in place, I'm going to wait until I get that sticker first, because this needs to go on top of the sticker, not the other way around, because there'll be overhang. So I'm going to wait before I stick those bits in. They also got another floor plate and another finished floor as well, and some decorative items as well. So it's quite a big issue last issue 13. So yeah. So let's get into issue 14 then, and what we'll be doing with that. A nice green colour. So in this issue we've got a wall panel and some wallpapering and the other bit of coving for Mickey's room. Then we've got our assembly instructions, which by now we can do pretty much without even looking for wallpapering. Ooh, nice poster. We've got Mickey Mouse. So this is for one of his cartoons in 1932. So this is just after Steamboat Willie. And then the movie we've got is Cinderella, Timeless Classics. And then we've got another timeless classic, which is Lady and the Tramp. And then just the advertisement and what's coming in issue 15, which will be the lower panelling for the back wall, Donald's hat, some decorations for Donald's room as well as cacti for Donald's room, which is this one here, which is upstairs, sort of in the centre, I believe. So yeah, let's get on with the bits. Let me show you what we got, because this is very cute. This is Ariel's chest for the bathroom, which is very nicely done and painted in lovely. Now the lid unfortunately does not stay in place, and also if you can see, my hinge is a little bit broken, but I can fix that with a bit of plastic glue. But I don't think it's intended to click in place. I don't think it is. I could be wrong. I think it's just meant to be placed on top, because then you can always prop it open with something else. It's easier to get in and out when you're playing and things. And then the other thing we got is this teeny tiny, not a fork or a Triton, but a hairbrush. Because if you remember in The Little Mermaid, she uses a fork to brush her hair, because that's what she thought it was, a thingamabob, I think she said. So yeah, that's a quite nice little play there, where it looks like a fork on the back, but it's actually a brush. That's a really nice little comical thing, which I like. So I'll put that in there for safekeeping. But it does click into place. from the front, so it does stay very nicely like that. That was a little decorative item we got today. So let's get on with, oh, I've got lots of bits and bobs here. Wallpapering this piece, and I believe this is just going to go straight across there, although it seems a little bit short. Like there's a gap there. Is there supposed to be a gap there, or is it supposed to be a gap at the top? I don't know if you can see that. So if I line it up with the top bit, I get a gap at the bottom. If I line it up at the bottom, I get a gap at the top. Let's just check the magazine. Yeah, it looks like you're supposed to place it, as you can see, with a gap at the top. For some reason, I'm not quite sure why, but I'm guessing the floor above will probably sit that low because we've got this weird little notch at the top. So yeah, if you line it up with the bottom, I'm guessing that's where a structural support or I-beam will go across. Maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, so we lined this paper up with the groove, not the ridge that I've been calling them. This is a groove. A ridge is something that's raised. I kept getting the words muddled up, as I do. So yeah, let's get this blue wallpaper, and this is for the frozen hallway, by the way. Hence it's got the nice beautiful pattern. And we'll line it up best we can. Hopefully that's all right. Just cut the window. Well, I'm going to cut this little notch first. I'm going to fold over the piece, so I've just cut the little bits and then I'll fold it over, because that way hopefully we're not going to get any dark lines showing. And just cut the window. Oh, I went a little bit overboard. I started watching myself in the camera then, that's why. Fatal mistake. Because your sense of depth goes way off. Alright, so we'll stick that back on the thing, just in case we've got any problems at a later date. Just make sure it's flat up on the bottom. Yeah, so you only want these joint pieces showing, not a gap further along, otherwise it will show, you'll see the MDF gap between each other, so make sure that you really do line these edges up, otherwise you get a vertical gap and it just looks messy. But that's just my perfectionist, I suppose. I'm just going to chop this end piece off here. And keep that just in case, because you never know. And voila. Now I'm not too bothered about these end pieces looking perfect, but again I'm not going to cut down across, just to make sure that we don't get any vertical MDF pieces showing when we connect the wall. And what I mean by the vertical pieces showing is, hopefully you can see. Can you see there's quite a dark line in that corner? Now that's not too bad, but it annoys me. So I'm going to try and avoid that on further pieces. But I think these wallpaper pieces were just a little bit short, or it might be my cutting, it might be that as well. Probably is that. So that's what I'm going to try and avoid, is those dark gaps in the corner. But that's my personal preference. but that's how I'm hoping to avoid it anyway. So I think we're finished with this piece for now. But then the other piece that we got was the coving piece for Mickey's room, and then we want to put some wallpaper on the border. Now I said I wasn't gonna glue these in place until I've got this piece. So we've got this piece now. So I'm going to glue them all in place now, because this is the piece that will go there. And then the other pieces we've got that I've already sucked down and taken off, which is why they look really bad on the back. But don't worry, because we're not going to see that in a moment. So the reason why I wanted to wait until I got all the pieces is to make sure I get the angles as perfect as possible, which might be quite difficult. And we're just going to stick these on with a bit of wood glue. Yeah, so the piece I need to do first is this one, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to wedge it in place. So let's take the parquet flooring away just in case we get any glue on there, because I don't want glue on there. So how I like to do this, now the magazine asks that you glue this edge here, but I find it's easier. So I find it easier just to glue inside the ridge, because that's where it's going to sit anyway. So I think it's easier to glue that instead of the actual piece. And the glue I'm using is just the Evo Stick wood glue interior, which for me I find works pretty much on par anyway. There's no issues with it. So we're going to do this bit first. And then I'm just going to use it straight out of the bottle, because as I've said, the ridge is just perfect for you to just be able to do this and take it straight out of the bottle, so it's nice and easy. So yeah. And then I'm just going to go along here as well. And hope that while I'm messing around, the glue's not going to run too much. Right, so this piece first. And then this piece needs to line up with that piece and get perfect sort of edge. Now I'm just putting them all in place without clamping down. Right, so I'm happy with that top corner. I'm not happy with that first corner. But what I'm going to do is just use these binder clips and just put them on to keep it in place. No! Got glue everywhere. Let me just clip it in place and I'll clean up quickly. Let me just put that back in place. Alright, so that's okay like that. Now I need to quickly get the glue off. Hopefully that's alright. So now I'm just going to quickly, because again we've got to match the wallpaper up, so the wallpaper, you just got a little bit of the floral bit sticking out of it. So match this up best we can. Alright, so I'm happy happy with that. And then just going to take off the excess bits here, because there's quite a bit on this one. But again, I always like to have overhang and allow it to go like that to try and tackle the dark verticals, as I call them. The dark verticals are the enemy of the dollhouse. So then that's hopefully going to slot in that corner, but again I'm going to turn it upside down and hopefully it's going to slot in there beautifully without too much glue squirting everywhere. No! I've done the rookie mistake. I've done the rookie mistake. I have stuck the wallpaper upside down because I'm an idiot. Yeah, so make sure you've got it the right bloody way up before you stick it in. Alright, I need to wash some of this glue off. Where's some tissue? So make sure you've got your coving with the fat piece on the top, not the other way around. I didn't even think about that when I was just doing it, I just wanted to get it in, which is not the greatest idea. Hopefully it's going to be long enough, because now I've cut the ends off at an angle and they're the wrong way up. So hopefully, yes, thankfully, because I left the overhang, there's still plenty there. Otherwise I would have to order another issue, or perhaps I'd be able to just get a wallpaper piece, I don't know. I've not got to that point yet. Right, now let's try putting that back into place, shall we? Hopefully a bit easier this time, because it'll actually fit the way it's supposed to. So yeah, as you can see, I am really squishing it into that corner to try and vanquish any vertical darkness. And because it is right in the corner, I don't think I need a clamp, although I think I'll get one anyway just in case. Can you see how there's dark vertical? No dark vertical. So in future issues, that's what I'm hoping to tackle. So yeah, that's it for this issue. I hope you found this video useful and you found my way of doing it helpful to whatever it is you guys are doing, or you just follow along because you just want to have a good look at how this is progressing. I'm very pleased with how this is progressing. Is that going to slot on that? Or because that's the wall that goes along the back there, but I imagine there's another wall that will slot in between, which is why they don't quite slot together just yet. So that's where that's going to end up going. And that's the back window, and then I think there's a staircase going up there, I think. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next issue. Thanks, bye.